So in this video, I'm going to give you a short tip, but it's something very profound in its implications. So we're talking about presence in these videos, and people have asked me over the years what has been the one practice that was most conducive to developing presence within me. And there are, of course, a number of different practices. In the last video, we talked about mindfulness meditation, body scan stuff as a way of becoming more present. We also talked about going into nature and letting that calm our minds and kind of spread our awareness over a vast plain or landscape. And I also gave examples of acting and improv and jazz music and surfing, and also writing for me as ways to get right into the crest of the wave, the emerging crest of the moment, and play around in there. But more than any other practice, it was intimacy, or very, very deep, transcendent conversation. So intimacy in the sexual sense, but also in the kind of naked, raw, authentic vulnerability of two people coming together and really, really speaking, to the point where we get so into the crest of the moment together that it's bodies feel like they're disappearing, clothes feel like they're disappearing. I've had women say to me before, Jordan, it's kind of intimidating speaking to you because I feel naked in front of your eyes. And even though I'm flinching, I can't take myself out of here. I long to be in this moment. And other people talk about this as a bubble of intimacy. We became so engaged with each other in a moment, the entire rest of the restaurant disappeared. We were the only people here. Time stood still. All the waitresses had to kick us out. We didn't know where we were. It's like this before sunrise kind of unfolding moment. Absolute magic. How do you drop through the portal with another person into such a deep state of shared presence? Well, I need a way of getting out of my self-story, and I need a way also of feeling into having my awareness on another person as well. And so the one practice that gave me so much leverage, and this practice is an ongoing practice that you can do permanently, and it's also the very starting point for a lot of the deeper things that I teach in my programs. But I'm going to give you the beginning practice, and the practice is a simple inquiry. When I'm sat before, let's say, a coaching client, when I'm sat before my business partners or my team, when I'm sat before a beautiful woman who I long to disrobe with entirely, become deeply intimate with, I'm asking myself the question, what are we experiencing right now? What are we experiencing right now? So just imagine for a moment that every single time you are in a connection with another person or in a group of people, there is an average feeling that permeates the room that everyone can subtly feel. Sure, everyone might have a slightly different emotional mood, or they might have a different thought stream about what's happening, a different interpretation. But if you feel in a very, very fine way, next time you're in a deep conversation with someone, you might notice that there is an average texture of the relational moment. And you can ask yourself, what are we experiencing right now? Not what am I experiencing? I mean, that's part of the puzzle. And when you ask the question, you might only get what you're experiencing. And it's not what the other person's experiencing. It's not like you're hyper-vigilant and feeling into and checking and really trying to attune only with their world to the exclusion of what's in you. It's including a bit of them, but it's not losing yourself in them. It's actually relaxing a little bit more, feeling into everything that's in you, feeling into everything that's in the other person, and feeling into the average temperature or the average texture of the space. What are we experiencing right now? And you feel that. And so people ask me things like, how did you know what to say next? Or why did you decide to take things in that rabbit hole? How did you know to set a boundary? How did you know to take the lead in that particular way? It seemed very spontaneous and also very appropriate, but it's not something I would ever have done myself. Well, the secret is because I'm feeling the the temperature of the room, or I'm feeling the average texture in the space, I can really make attuned decisions of where to go next. But if I'm not feeling that, then I'm likely to kind of barge or coerce or prematurely lead someone into a direction where they might not be ready to go yet. Or conversely, I might lack all confidence to really show up in a powerful way and put myself on the table. So I'm asking the question, I'll invite you to do this in every scenario over the course of the next week. Ask yourself the question, what are we experiencing right now? And it might pull you a little bit out of the conversation, like, as the other person's speaking, I'm just taking a moment to feel a deeper dimension of what's happening between us. It can be a bit of a training to be able to listen to everything they're saying on a cognitive level, while also feeling the texture between the two of you. But over time, you start realizing that the cognitive stuff is mere noise and placeholder and filler, because what the truth of a relationship is, or the truth of intimacy is that felt texture that you're always in. And the felt texture is always evolving. And so you can ask the question moment to moment to moment. Ideally, I believe, if you want to be very, very elegant in intimacy with another person and really leverage intimacy and relationship as a way to get out of your own head and actually be really in something meaningful with another person, you're constantly feeling for the answer of that question. And if somebody asks you, if your woman was to ask you, what are we experiencing right now? You can feel it and you can say, this is what we're experiencing. And in a way, you want to never care about being right, but you also playfully want to really try and get it with precision and try to be right. Show up really hard with your best awareness and also not care if you get it wrong. Magical things can happen here. Now, over the course of many years, and part of my long training has been to have practice partners and to be in situations where we're practicing this. And I might sit there in eye contact with someone for 30 minutes and we're constantly asking ourselves, what are we experiencing right now? What are we experiencing right now? And the whole field changes and opens, and we go on a journey together in presence, together, merging as one, opening ourselves up to the same quality. It becomes a very, very mystical thing. Now, in the midst of regular life, say with your wife, with your long-term girlfriend, with the woman that you've just met through a dating app, with the client in the boardroom, you might not want to ask that question. It might just be too weird a thing for the other person to deal with, right? So you don't have to. Just if you open yourself up enough to feel into that inquiry, what are we experiencing right now together? Even that's going to change the entire feeling and mood of what you create together. You don't need to tell them. You don't need to share the question with them. You're just feeling into the journey, the ride. And you can have fun with things like this. Hey, do you feel that between you and I right now? Can you feel this particular magic in the air? You can say something cheeky like that. No? Yes? And play around. So you can introduce what you're feeling in any particular way. But we started off this video talking about presence and a powerful practice to get you out of the mind and really into the pocket of the moment with somebody. This is what I will offer to you. Try it for a week. Place your attention into the relational field and let me know in the comments what you discover and what you find. This is foundational mystic training for the mysticism of intimacy.